Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight podcast. Our guest today is Andrée Martin, our leadership mindset and golf performance coach. And as you all know by now, when we have Andrée Martin on our podcast, it must be Mindset Monday. And we are looking forward to hearing from Andrée her tips for success in golf and in business. And she's going to go more in depth about those. But first, let's give a little background about Andrée. She's an LPGA Class A Life member, a nationally recognized top 50 golf teacher and expert, and a member of the Maine Golf Hall of Fame. Recognizing golf's value as a business tool in today's competitive marketplace, Andrée works with individuals, groups, corporate or organizational clients to create educational and team-building programs that enhance the professional success of aspiring executives. Andrée, welcome back to the Success Insight podcast.
Thank you, Howard. It's always good to be back with you, and I'm ready to do another Mindset Monday.
Fantastic. I kind of let slip a little bit about today's episode. And I know we talked a little bit about it's going to be a two-part episode.
Yes.
What's on the agenda for today?
We have discussed so far SMART goals, flipping fear into confidence, playing to win. And in playing to win, we also talked about the system, right? So to put that system into place, I've created 10 tips to ensure success and keep you on course.
All right, 10 tips to ensure success and keep us on course. So without further ado, let's start going through some of those tips and let's tie it all together.
So the first one is you have to have a clear vision. You've got to know where you want to go and dream big. Everybody keeps talking about knowing your big why, right? It's more about understanding the impact you want to make to achieve that.
Okay. And I love, again, this applies to out on the golf course and in the business, whatever it might be, a little mom and pop to the big business that's nationwide, perhaps global. So we have to have that clear view.
Absolutely. And it's important that you repeat that vision over and over and over again so that you know who you are. And it might be a small local mom and pop, as you mentioned. Are you regional? Are you statewide? Are you nationwide? Are you around the world? And then within that, you want to get even more defined and really get more detail oriented. So for example, I help business leaders and entrepreneurs to lower their scores, dig deep past their fears, transfer the good skills they have to the golf course while maintaining strong mental focus through the round. And we take it to the course. We're not settling for silver. We're always going to the gold. Always. So the more clear our vision is, and we state our purpose, which is number 2, this guides you. The vision aspires us to then get into our purpose and guide us. It's sharing how and what you believe everything's going to be all about, right? Everything you're creating, your business, okay? And how are you going to be different from the competition? How are you going to stand out? I love this quote. Tom Brady actually said it came from Under Armour president Kevin Plank. The bigger your dream, the more important the team.
It's funny. I was just going to ask you, when you state your purpose, you have this clear vision, where does your team on the golf pros team or in the business, your leaders, your senior execs, the VPs, the SVPs, down to the managers, does everybody have a clear view and understanding of what your vision is and what your purpose is? And that's actually a very important facet of one of my favorite books in leadership, The Leadership Challenge by James Kouzes and Barry Posner, is model the way, but also to inspire a shared vision.
Yes.
Love that.
And that actually leads us very nicely into having a defined audience. And it's not just the defined audience. We're still talking about team here. It's about putting, as a business owner, okay, to ensure your success, to keep you on course, to best serve the audience, you got to get the best and the right players on the team. And when you do, you can know that your vision is going to be carried forward and everybody will uphold the vision.
I love that too. Part of that is giving the team the tools they need to succeed and just letting them do what you hired them to do. How does that play itself out on the golf course?
Well, if I go back to team golf, it's about getting contagious, right?
Okay.
It's an individual sport, but yet we had to play as a team. You're competitive within and with each other, but yet you had to play together as a team. So it's all about how can you support one another? And this goes back to that conversation we've had a couple of times, competition versus collaboration. The best and right players on a team, when you are truly collaborating, you're bringing everybody up and you're keeping everybody up. And when you do, you can deliver anything to your audience, and your audience will want to be a part of what you're offering. It's really, really key. And in this way, you can get much more pinpoint focus and really get clear with who you want to do business with and maybe who you don't want to do business with.
Well, and I think that's an important part of, at least from my perspective as a solo entrepreneur, a coach, is being crystal clear, or a podcaster, being crystal clear of who I want to be guest in my business, to work with me on my show, to be a guest.
Right.
Because if I try to be everything to everybody, I'm not doing them any good because I'm not truly passionate and really doing my work with purpose. And I can't communicate my vision either. And so really that focus is so very important, and knowing who your customer is.
And if you're delivering a certain message that you're wanting to make sure you're staying successful in golf, from a golf perspective, I got really picky who I played with. I didn't want to play with a Debbie Downer. I wanted to play with the champions. I wanted to play with the best on the team. I always wanted to keep up-leveling my game. And in doing so, we all up-leveled ourselves. We create challenges and have fun. And, you just purposefully focus your practice, your planning, everything you did had a reason and a purpose.
It's interesting. This also plays very nicely into another work in the business circles around teams. Patrick Lencioni wrote a visionary book. It's a classic, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. And teams, especially when you are assembling them, and this goes past the model a little bit, and perhaps someday we'll come back and talk about the model, but who do you want on your team? And he has a book called The Ideal Team Player, and that's somebody who's humble, hungry, and smart. And that speaks very nicely to what you just shared, is I want people who they're aware of how good they are. They're aware of their strengths. They're not holding it up to you to remind you of how great they are. So there's that humble. But hungry is, look, I want to get better, continue to get better. I need my teammates to help inspire me to go above and beyond whatever I thought was capable of doing. And even out on the golf course, to challenge you to take some of those shots perhaps that you didn't think you could take, or not take the shots because you're not ready for it yet. And also being smart is really getting along with the team and being able to communicate and discuss and challenge each other without fear of repercussion. And so that plays very nicely in this model.
Absolutely. And when you get in a contagious environment, it opens up the world to creativity too. Mm-hmm. And the more creative you get, the more possibilities open up. And I mean, from a golf perspective, it's like you start carving and creating new shots. And your best players have a bigger toolbox of all kinds of shot options. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to show players more tools. Because you might have a regular Phillips screwdriver, or the one that has the crisscross. I forget the name of it. But anyway, one will work better than the other.
Right.
And I use that all the time in short game practice, because you're going to have different scenarios that are going to require certain shots, and which one's going to get you tighter. They might both work. What one's going to get you tighter?
Right.
And knowing that. And so that kind of leads in nicely to the next part of knowing the needs of the customer. You want to listen and take in what they want, but you're going to deliver what they need. And that screwdriver analogy and all of that is just knowing what you need to pull off, knowing what is needed. And I want the best round ever, but what do I need to do to get there? Okay, now you're going to carve that down. And the other thing I loved in reading Tom Brady is will over skill. You got to have that drive and that will. The physical skill can evolve and get better and better if you have the will and the drive to get there. And it's a matter of having that will drive it, but also knowing, okay, I know my customers, and am I working with a junior golfer? Am I working with an adult? Are they senior? Do they have injuries? Where are they starting so that you can get them to what they need, and knowing their personal history and knowing your values and matching your values with theirs to drive this vision purpose appropriately to create. And the fifth one, after knowing their needs, is delivering them solutions to those specific needs they have. And a great example I can give you is someone might come to me with driver issues, but it might be a shaft that they need. Maybe they're playing a weaker shaft and they need a stiffer shaft, or vice versa. Maybe they're aging up and they need something with a little more play to help create more club head speed, to gain more carry, more roll, to get them out there. There's just a lot of solutions that you can provide, and it's a matter of having that toolbox ready so you can pull out the right one and lining it all up. And that's where the system is so key, because you've got all these solutions you can pull out to plug in depending on their needs. I've given golf lessons where maybe they've hit 6 balls and all I needed to do was listen. And I know you've had clients where you just spent a lot of your time listening, Howard.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It blows my mind where you just sit there and listen, and all of a sudden you've got all kinds of business because you've allowed them the space to emote. They felt understood. They felt heard. You've built the relationship and the trust to the point where you get the business. And I want to close around all that where the biggest thing is what gets them to the greatest impact. Impact is critical in golf. Impact position is everything. And you build it out from there. Business. It's all about making the greatest impact. When you do that, everybody wins.
I love it. I love it. Well, I am very excited about, not only taking these tips and putting those into practice and working with my own clients to put those into practice from the coaching side, but it also opens up another level of understanding when you talk about what happens out on the golf course. Part of my mindset was thinking about the individual playing, but in reality too, it's you as a coach and a mentor helping your clients discover themselves and really helping them understand what their vision is and their purpose. And also for you, who your audience is and knowing what they need.
Yes, it's truly all about listening, paying attention, gaining an understanding of their values, of what they need so that they can play their best and be their best. When you do that, they can go for the gold.
I love it. I love it. And like business, golf is not one size fits all.
No way. It's all custom.
Very much custom. Andrée, thank you so much for joining us again on Success Inside Podcast and these first 5 tips to ensure success and keep you on course. And we're definitely looking forward to tips 6 through 10 into our next episode. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Hey, and before we let you go, just remind our listeners, where's the best place to get to know you and learn more about you and your work?
Certainly. Please feel free to reach out at my website, AndreeGolf.com. That's Andrée with 2 E's. I also have Facebook, LinkedIn, and my YouTube site. And did I say Instagram?
You should be saying Instagram now because I know you have an Instagram page.
I do, indeed.
In fact, I want to acknowledge you were sharing this wonderful picture of, I don't know if it was the sunrise or the sunset.
This is sunset.
Oh, my God. And I know there was snow on the ground, but there was the nice Adirondack chair with the table. I'm thinking, what a wonderful place to have a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
I love that. So thanks for sharing that. I know that was on Instagram as well. Okay, folks, we have just been chatting with Andrée Martin, our leadership mindset and golf performance coach. And today's episode of Mindset Monday was titled 10 Tips to Ensure Success and Keep You on Course. And Andrée shared the first 5 tips. And we're looking forward to having her back to hear tips 6 through 10. So do go out and visit Andrée on her website, AndreeGolf.com. And again, she is on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we will provide the links to those social sites as well. As far as our social sites are concerned, you can visit us on successinsightpodcast.com or on our Facebook and LinkedIn pages, Success Insight Podcast. And we are also on the major podcasting platforms, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and also we are on YouTube as well. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, take care of yourselves, take care of your family, get out, enjoy the great outdoors, practice social distancing, wear your mask, and have fun, okay? We'll see you on the next episode of the Success Insight Podcast. Take care now.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.